This morning, I would like to introduce to you someone who is known throughout the world for her work with the Gullah Geechee Nation. She is a native of St. Helena, South Carolina. Queen Quet is the Chieftess and Head-of-State of Gullah Geechee Nation. She was selected, elected, and installed to be the Queen Mother and the official spokesperson for the Gullah Geechee Nation. She was one of the first inductees to the Gullah Geechee Hall of Fame. In addition, Queen Quet was the first Gullah Geechee person to speak on behalf of the people at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. She is a permanent representative to the UN at International Human Rights Association for American Minorities. Queen Quet is Chancellor at International University of the Gullah Geechee Nation. Due to all of her hard work, the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Act was passed by the U.S. Congress. She is the founder of the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, whose purpose is to preserve the Gullah Geechee history, heritage, and culture. Her writings include a 30-volume series on the Gullah Geechee Nation, a Gullah anthology, and an encyclopedia. She has appeared in and has been consulted for over a dozen films. Lastly, she graduated from Columbia and Fordham Universities with degrees in math and computer science. Now I present to you Queen Quet, Chieftess and Head-of-State of Gullah Geechee Nation. Please rise in honor of Queen Quet.
Started in Jacksonville, North Carolina, going on up to Jacksonville, Florida. Plenty of time to deal with 100 children that kind there. Son, the other people that write people like this. Because I don't say, home, we ain't think like that. Say, in and out. But see, the older people study about that. Tell me that they haven't been for you. God, for good. So they carry the Gullah. Yeah. And walking next year. Yeah, on the boat. And red was, and illegal, and this year. See, then I studied who we with, like architect, y'all done. It's just figure say, we want, we whatever then, tell me though. Because they figure say, they're never dog. So we have to do whatever they say. There ain't no such a thing. Whoever, whatever may come, that'll bring on your life. And see, even now, 100 kind of way we did. Plenty of times people will say, well, great God, they're not there anymore. The follow me for great God, I never see we there. All of these young children. So it's all kind of crazy people believe it. So they say, can't find it. He ain't did it. He still can't understand. They took these young things down one bit way hard. You see, can't find it. But then we study about that. Because see, plenty of times 100 children that can't do the Gullah Geechee Nation now. And the other people crack the people like this. You hear people talking to you like this when you get there. And as a result of people speaking this language, which is not our native tongue in the Gullah Geechee Nation. This language I'm speaking to you now comes from where? You have no idea? Okay, ¿qué pasa? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué parle français? No. Oh, well, the language I'm speaking now, do you know it? Oh, so you do know it's English. So where did it come from? Britain, right? In Europe. I mean, a Trump don't like this thing like that. Where do you think that come from? South Carolina. Where do you think the language I just spoke to you, which was Gullah, comes from? Continentally. Someone just said it. West Africa. Africa is the continent. Y'all latecomers, how y'all feel? All right, good to see y'all. So now, today, the same way you paused and hesitated, like it was really unknown, and then I spoke, I said, ¿Qué pasa? What language was that? Spanish. And you laughed. That's the same thing that happened for many, many years when people came to the Gullah Geechee Nation and heard our language. the same reaction. They laughed. Do you think we found it funny? How you think we felt about it? Offended or upset? Disrespected? Because if you came and introduced yourself to someone and you said, hi, my name is whatever your name is, and they just said, how would you feel? You feel like I just described, right? Upset, offended, disrespected. Because there ain't nothing funny about who you are, right? So if I had run up in here and say, yo, what's up, y'all? How y'all feel this morning? Y'all all right? You good? He said, yeah, we good. I mean, that's the appropriate response. If he wasn't, the appropriate response would have said, nah, I ain't feeling this this morning. Some of y'all look like that's your response anyway. But so, one of the things that has always been interesting to us as Gullah Geechee people who speak an African language, it is an African-based language, Gullah is. We have a dialect or a pidgin of our language, which bridges between English and Gullah. That is Geechee. Geechee uses more loan words from English and put into the structure, which is an African phonetic structure, all right? A grammar system based from Africa. So when we don't correctly teach like that, they show we know what we do anything like that. We not ask the rest of people what they do. So if I don't understand things like that, then it, look here, when I have to study over you are. Come on in. It's all right. There's still seats up in the club. Come on in. Y'all all like the door, like there's a room. There's still seats in here. The seats on either side where you can go to. So the thing about it is that today, people still have the attitude that if something is not exactly the way they do it, it's something to be laughed at. It's something to make fun of. But that's unacceptable. Because what normally that laughter indicates is it's something you just don't know. And in our case, what happened after the laughter was that people went around saying, oh, I went to the Sea Islands. I said to y'all in Gullah earlier that the Sea Islands and then also 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River, that is the low country, that is the Gullah Geechee Nation. Starts at Jacksonville, North Carolina, and goes to Jacksonville, Florida. When people would come into what is now the Gullah Geechee Nation today, they don't speak to us. They would go in, laugh, go back out, write something, and say we're not even there if they hear us speaking English. Others who come in and hear our language will go back and say, these are backward, ignorant people who have an inability to comprehend the English language. Instead of saying, I went into a cultural community, and when I arrived there, I realized I couldn't directly communicate with the people because I didn't know their language. Wouldn't there have been a difference between the first summary versus that last summary? Gives you a different perspective, right? Different languages of the world are equal to one another. It does not mean that someone who speaks an African language lacks intelligence, and because they have the ability now to speak English, now they become intelligent. But that is what was said of Gullah Geechees, largely by people who came in from Europe into what has been often referred to as even a nation within a nation during chattel enslavement. Cotton, rice, and indigo were the three major cash crops that built the infrastructure of what is now the Gullah Geechee Nation and the United States. Because as these crops went out and this cargo, these bales, the barrels went out around the world, black cargo, black gold was brought in. That was what we were called. Black cargo, black gold. Now, I often say to people, there's no duality in the meaning of gold. There's no place in the world that you don't go to and mention gold and everybody say, oh, that's rich, right? I never heard anybody think gold wasn't. So I said, for someone to write black gold, they knew the richness that they were extracting from Al-Kebulan, that we call Africa today. But they then taught the people the opposite. They taught them that they had nothing of value. They wanted to strip them of their languages, strip them of their spiritual practices, strip them of their drums, strip them of all of the different things that gave them their particular humanity and their particular mechanisms of cultural expression of that humanity. Hence why I say don't use the word slave. And she turned around and did it anyway. Because when you use the word slave, there is no connection to anything except being in bondage. But when you say enslaved person, now you say, oh, it's a person, so what's their name? Where did they come from? Wonder what their family is like. Where do they live? How do they live? What skills do they have? And African people were kidnapped largely because of what we would call today their skill set